Open worlds. There's a certain allure to them, a promise of scale, freedom, a sprawling living world in which you're just a cog-in machine. So much to explore and discover. So I'm going to pose a question then. Why do a lot of open world games feel so empty and lifeless? A vast wasteland of, well, no. Open worlds are the biggest games of our time, both in market and a literal sense. It seems that every big developer wants a slice of the pie, to make the room in the house that Ubisoft built. Games that start boasting larger and larger maps advertise them like it was the best selling point. Starfield, Bethesda's space epic, claimed to have over 1,000 planets across 100 star systems. Red Dead Redemption 2, Rockstar's Western, spanning about 33 square miles. And Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a staggering 46. I don't think a single one of these games is made better by its scale. In fact, I think a lot of times it's to their own detriment. The size of a map isn't an indicator of its quality. Pulling off an open world is difficult, making them bigger amplifies the flaws, stretching them so thin that they start to show cracks. The sheer size highlights its emptiness, leading to boredom and weighing the whole experience down. Now I should clarify that this video is completely subjective. What issues I have with them, others may love. Just because someone makes a YouTube video on it, don't make the word gospel. Remember to form your own opinion. So now, time to actually answer a question. A point I don't see brought up often enough by others is how an open world game treats its traversal. It's a key component of an open world game, travelling from point A to point B. It's an inevitability. Don't matter how you get there, running, walking, on horseback, in a car or plane. It all boils down to getting from one place to another. If all that traversal is a means to an end, it'll feel uninspiring and monotonous, like a job. Why'd you spend time doing something boring when you could just fast travel and skip it? Traversal also needs considerable care put into it rather than being an afterthought. Games that value the journey as much as the destination I find have the more engaging worlds. This is precisely why Death Stranding works. There's an immense level of depth between you and your destination. The entire game revolves around open world traversal. It has to be dialed in. It's polarizing, sure, and a lot do hate it, but for those whom it clicks with, it's brilliant, there's no like it. Not all open worlds have to have traversal like Death Stranding to succeed. That's not what I'm saying, that'd be a train wreck. But they do have to be actively engaging, not tacked on, but most importantly, fun.
Like Mario and Princess Peach.
Engaging traversal is achieved in quite a few different ways. I already used it as an example, that being adding depth to the movement itself, whether it's a weight system, making vehicles and horses require fuel, or adding mechanics that require technique and skill. An element of risk can also elevate movement. Instead of the floaty, indestructible masses of metal that a few games use to model a Vauxhall Vectra B, the mode of transport can actually be damaged, and by extension you can too. GTA 5 pulls this off quite well. If you crash, you're feeling it just a tad, your car will too. You have to pay for a repair, unless you can get it done for free. That's saving money for strippers and blow. I kid. By reeling in your focus, you're less likely to drift off. Movement's only one part of open traversal. Why do you want to spend your time travelling if everything around you is dull? You won't, you just fast travel. You can't just make it pretty either. If that was the case, how's New Vegas, a game that looks like that, a star example? It's the in-between, what's there on your path that makes the journey worth it. The world might introduce collectibles and side activities along the way. Sometimes you'll just be on your way when something catches your eye and you end up tossing off the main quest to pursue it instead. I do it all the time. Though this is potentially another pitfall, since that detour needs to be worth it. Filler won't be tolerated, but more on that later. My favourite kind of liveliness they can implement is the random events that can occur when you're just walking about, like that guy in Red Dead who gets booted by his horse as we're going by, or when that guy shoots himself in the leg in Strawberry whilst brandishing his new pistol. It's these elements that make the area you're in feel lived in, that outside your view is something else happening in parallel. You might be the main character, but the world isn't revolving around you. That's a world. Wide as an ocean, deep as a puddle. A phrase often used to criticise modern open worlds. I'm partially in agreement with it, but not because they're new and I'm stuck in the past. You can have all content you want crammed into an open world, leaving little time for moments of downtime, and somehow it'll still be boring and feel empty. Ubisoft games, specifically the new Assassin's Creed games, are probably the best example of this analogy. The worlds are massive, we are maps so full of things to do and discover. There's no depth or anything interesting in between the landmarks. It's filler, there for the sake of being there. It's one thing making the world full of things to do, it's dangerous to go overboard. There's a fine balance to be met between the size of the map and the amount of areas, POIs and collectibles there is. It's like they never want you to be bored, so they'll place somewhere every few strides to keep you engaged, but in doing so they create monotony and fatigue. It's simply too much. There's no downtime. Sounds contradictory, I think well done downtime is one of my favourite things a game can offer. It's during that time you can really start to appreciate the care and detail put in, where you can take it slow and just observe and absorb the area in which you're in. In Spider-Man, the 2018 one, you can swing around New York unbothered, you can hike through Skyrim, or there's Cyberpunk where you can plunge into the depths of Night City, immersing yourself in both the sludge and the beauty of it. I like a game to be like a roller coaster, some bits slow and some quick. They work in tandem to build up and descend to. You can't appreciate action if that's all there is. The opposite also true. With that being said, as that line waltzed on, filler is to be avoided. Adventure shouldn't be provoked through an achievement hunt. It should be out of interest and curiosity. A focus on world building adds depth and richness to it, creating intrigue and a sense of discovery. That in itself is a reward, even if you don't actually gain out. I love it when I can piece things together from what I've learned. That's why I love Remedy's control so much. My point is that a game can have simply too much redundant stuff to offer with little substance. You have to respect the balance. These issues start getting exaggerated when you start making the worlds increasingly bigger. Cracks start to form, and people see right through them. No one wants to run through the 325th copy and pasted dungeon to get bang average gear, or pick up 200 items to be able to craft a single item which could otherwise just buy. It's absurd. If this is all that occupies the space between, the game would be better off being reduced in size. I'm a believer in a game's density being better than its scale. Give me Night City over Valhalla any day. This solves the issue of it being spread too thin. It could still be shallower than Starfield's story. What makes up that open world needs to be quality, be varied, and make you want to explore rather than be a chore. Tons of collectibles can exist, they just shouldn't make up the largest part of a game's exploration. On paper, this sounds great. Putting it to practice, you'll see that this could feel still lifeless. This is a random character in Cyberpunk 2077. What do you notice? It's uncomfortable, isn't it? Shells are humans with no behind eyes, no train of thought, just the same song and dance to follow. You speak to them and you get back a repeated line. That's if you even have the luxury of a response. This knocks immersion down a peg. To really sell off the idea of a living world, the NPCs need to have some life to them. Whether that's through them living their own individualized lives like in Kingdom Come Deliverance and Shadows of Doubt, or through reacting to your actions and talking to you when you approach them like in Red Dead 2.
Yeah, well, ready to lose them teeth. You've asked for your
Oblivion's quite strong in this regard. Every single character can be talked to, and then there's the fame system, where NPCs will recognise you for, hopefully, your good deeds. The opposite also true, you monsters. It's no coincidence that all these games are revered for their excellent worlds. Believable NPCs are key in breathing life into one, making it go from static to dynamic. When a game doesn't have this, it leaves a void that sucks out much of its soul. Far Cry 6 is a map with things to do. It's not a world. It's a playground for you and you only, a stage set out for you to perform. When you're not there, the curtain's closed. An open world should not be a parody of The Truman Show. Let them live their own lives and you'll see what a difference it makes in how a game feels.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Given all that, what seems to get advertised the most is the sheer size of a map. It's just the canvas, it's what you paint on it that makes it special. Not once have I gone, oh yeah, the game sucked, but the map's right big so it evens out. That's just not the case. The map needs to justify its size with equally attentive care to detail and fun. The argument why does an ocean deep as a puddle pops up yet again. I'd rather make a smaller, more focused map with considerable depth, as opposed to an area that's occupied by only you and your thoughts. That's if you haven't already closed it down or fallen asleep. Is it the spectacle of an absurdly large world that sells a game? There's gotta be some indicator that compels them to lean on it and push for bigger maps, right? Maybe people do like it and I'm just vocal about it. That I don't doubt, it's an opinion after all. I just simply don't get what value more area brings as opposed to just making the explorable area denser. You can still have downtime by having areas of bareness. It just wouldn't be at such a higher concentration compared to the lively areas. Verticality is something I don't see being utilised all that much, at least not as much as I'd like, albeit it's a bit situational based on game setting. Collectibles would arguably be more interesting through denser worlds, as they would have to be more creatively placed. Again, this brings depth. Contradicting all this, an extremely large map can make sense and suit a game perfectly. It's all based on context. It should serve its game's purpose and narrative, as opposed to solely existing to cash in on extravagance. What content is planned shouldn't be stretched to fit the map afterwards, neither should filling the map full of nonsense to pad it out be the case. We all know by now that planned content doesn't always end up in the game for a multitude of reasons like scope creep, overambition, not enough resources, a risk of missing deadlines. Sometimes things just don't work out as initially planned. Is it really worth it to aim for that kind of scale? Ultimately, at the end of the day, what constitutes a great open world is up to interpretation. What I've discussed are just aspects which I believe are paramount to create an engaging open world, otherwise they run the risk of feeling empty. Then again, some of my favourites forego these ideas and I still enjoy them. So I guess it's all a matter of what is right for the game. What do you think? What makes an open world feel empty to you?